All right. Hey guys, this is Joette with ballooncoach.com. And today I've got Steven Mayhew with me. And as we record this, it is April 9th, 2020, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. Who would have ever thought? So for the balloon industry, we have a bunch of creative people who are at home, frustrated that they're not working, and trying to make the best use out of their time and figuring out ways to connect with our customers and followers during this time so we can be an uplifter. And so one of the first people that came to my mind was Steven Mayhew. Um,
Well,
so
I'm glad that's what came to your mind then. Thank you.
And so for those of you who might not know us, I wanted to just introduce myself. I used to own Party People events from 2003 to 2015 in Lakeland, Florida. And then in 2015, I founded ballooncoach.com and stayed as the marketing manager for the company that I sold. And I currently serve as the manager for Party People events. We have a storefront we actually opened up. We expanded from 2,100 square feet to 5,000 square feet just a few months ago. So it's really odd going from working 6 days a week in a retail store and with our staff who would go out to Orlando and put on large events to being back into my office again. And then I do produce a yearly event called Balloon Boss Pro Summit. So this was the store that we just opened. And we had a grand opening, we had massage therapists and everything. So it's just really wild to me that I'm not in that space right now. But I want to introduce you to Steven Mayhew with Balloon Workshop. And for those of you who don't know, he made this amazing book where everything in the book is a balloon. And how many years ago did that come out, Steven?
I think it came out at the end of 2016. So, but it had taken 4 years to develop. So, yeah. So it took a while, but yeah, it's been out for a couple of years now.
That's awesome. So 4 years to develop a project. I mean, talk about planning and
Yeah.
and determination to keep going. That's amazing. So during this time where people are looking for something to uplift them, I wanted you guys to know that number one, his book exists. And then also we're going to talk about some ways he's been creative to get some free resources to folks that we can use as the balloon industry for people to have something to do during this time. So what I'm talking about today is that people like to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And so right now, during a pandemic, we have this really awesome opportunity to build the trust factor and for our audiences and our customers to know that we care about them and that we like them, and for them to build trust if we're not just going out there and doing sales pitches every day. For the people who are not able to sell right now, then this is not a time for you to be pushing sales, right? It's a time for you to build relationships with people. And for those of you who are still in areas where you are able to sell, you can use a lot of this information we're going to talk about to build relationships with your clients and make them stronger. So this is a time for us to connect to our followers by putting out uplifting content, by giving helpful hints, maybe some boredom busters, some free downloads, activity suggestions, and stress busters. Your clients and your followers are going to see how you react during the situation. Do you just close up into a ball and be quiet for the next month? Or do you make the most of this time to keep moving forward with your business and building relationships and supporting the people that you care about? So I did this graphic the other day of just always look on the bright side of life. I shared it with my Balloon Boss Mastermind members in Canva for them to be able to edit and put their logos on if they want. This is an arch I made years ago for a delivery, but I love the sun. I thought it was fun, and all I had to do was add some words to it to make it something to be an uplifting post to put on Instagram and Facebook. And it took about 2 minutes to put it together, and it was done. So when you're thinking about how can I uplift the people around me and support my customers, it can be something as easy as taking a current balloon photo you have and putting some cute, bright wording on it and go on there. If you're one of those people that's kind of edgy, you could do something like, I know last week when we did the Q Corner Live convention, Nico had made a Corona bottle, you know, the beer bottle out of balloons. So, I mean, you can be creative during this time too, but things like that bring humor and fun and uplift people. So what I want to do is jump in and introduce you, if you have not seen it already, to the ABC balloon book and the balloon coloring book that our wonderful guest today, Steven, did. And I'm going to go over to Steven's website. All right. So for those of you guys who are on right now live with me, I'd love to know, and you can put in the conversation in the chat, yes or no. Is there anybody on the call right now who, yes, actually owns this book currently? I'd be a yes. When Steven
I have many. So
you have many? Awesome. When Steven first made this, I was like, what an amazing gift as a balloon company to give to family and friends who have young kids who are learning to read. How cool is that? And then also what we did is with party people, we had a set of twins that we were doing a birthday party set up for. And it was one of those large ones where you just did a huge event set up. And so I'm like, wouldn't this be cool for us as party people to give a gift to our client of this book? So that's what we did there. So I do encourage you guys to look at that as in the future as something that you may want to purchase as a marketing tool, or just to have a gift as the cool aunt to give these to your family members for their birthdays and things like that. So what I'd love to do real quick is ask you a little bit about this book. How did you come up with the idea of doing an ABC book that was all balloons?
Well, I've been in the balloon industry for a little over 20 years now. And so I've been around balloons. I've been in all different facets of balloons, from working for a distributor, working for a manufacturer, running my own balloon decorating company. I started off as a twister. And throughout all of that, I was also a graphic designer. And so years ago, I had kind of gotten to a point where I wasn't having a creative, I wasn't finding a creative outlet, and I was just going to work and coming home. And I'm one of those people who, I can take a rest, but I love to have some creative project going on the side. And so at one point I saw a greeting. So as I was searching for this creative outlet, I came across a greeting card, and I saw these two owls on it. And I thought, well, that would be really neat, if I was to make that out of balloons. And so within probably a minute's time, everything just started running through my head. And I was like, well, okay, so if I was to make that, well, what could I do with it? What if I made a book? Well, what would I be able to do with a book if I made these characters out of balloons? And I thought, well, what if I made multiple characters out of balloons and then make it an alphabet book? And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just found my creative outlet. So that's how it started. And then I just started taking some test shots just to see, like, is this actually doable? How would I make the backgrounds? How would I make the animals? And so that's what gave me the inspiration to start it. And then through the 4 years of me working on the book, I just kept thinking, because it was just myself. I'm the one who built the balloon designs, took the pictures, layered everything together. It was just a one-man operation. And so through that time, I had so much time to think about, like, what else I could do with it. And as more time that passed, I thought, wow, I can make additional books. I like the idea of making this educational content for children. Balloons, we already know kids love balloons. And so I felt like it was just such a perfect pairing to combine early literacy, early education with the world of balloons.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, now that you have this book, I know the other day an email came out, and that's how this webinar happened, is I got an email from Steven where he had sent it out to his email list with, hey, here's some things that you can do if your kids are sitting home bored. So can you tell us a little bit about the free items that you're now offering?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, Joette. You were the one on one of the past Zoom chats who had said, you need to make your coloring book downloadable. And so I was sitting there after that chat, and I thought, well, I have a lot throughout the years. I've been building up a lot on the site, and I thought, well, I can make the coloring book downloadable, which I did. But then I had worked with a pre-K and kindergarten instructor who specifically works on activity guides for kids within that age range, and I felt like it was a great next step after the book. So you learn your ABCs, and then there's additional development that can come after that. And so what I did is I worked to create a 14-page downloadable activity guide, and then make it free. And so the guide has everything from writing your letters. This is a printed copy that I printed off.
Yeah, here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do stop share for just a second so they see it better from your video.
Okay.
Because I pulled it up on the screen too for them to see.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead.
So there's everything from writing your letters to a breakdown of, there's a lot of letters here, identifying letters, so fun activities that kids can interact with. And throughout all of the pages, you'll also see the characters from their line drawings from the coloring book and the ABC balloon book. So there's a myriad of different activities that kids can work with to letter sounds and actually writing words, like where you see the animal and then it shows you the word. Cute. And then off to the side, it's set up so that way they can trace it. And then on the right side, they're able to write it in and try to write the letters themselves. And then just fun things like connect dots, that helps with learn with their numbers and letters. Find letters, so it's letter identification. All these things that when you start looking at activity guides that are out there, they're all set up to specifically help children with certain aspects of the learning process, with letters and numbers and things like that. And so I made this activity guide free, and there's also the coloring book that's available as well, and that is every single page from the ABC balloon book made into a line form, and then the children can go through and color it.
That's awesome.
But it didn't stop there. I also included a ton of other bonus activities at the back of the coloring book, and everything from counting the number of animals and then writing it on the line, to just some fun projects like tracing your way through the maze.
How fun.
And more connecting dots, coloring, word finds, things like that. And so what's nice about this is that if you are a balloon decorator or just in the balloon industry and you are struggling to find ways to connect with your customers, as we all are, every business is dealing with the same thing, this is a great way for you to be able to reach out to your customers and provide as a gift. So you can go on to the balloonworkshop.com, go to the activity guide, and you add it to your cart. You just check out, there's no charge. You automatically can download it, and then feel free to include, you can download it and put it in an email and send it to a customer. You can also send them a link specifically to that page, because it is just a little over 10 megabytes. I got it compressed as much as I could, but there's so many pages of it. But it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, I didn't know if you had any children or maybe nieces and nephews, but you're more than welcome to forward this on. It's a great activity guide. It's based off of this balloon book. And since I'm in balloons, I felt like it was a great pairing to send it over to you, give something for the kids to do, and also provide and send out to their employees as well. And so it gives you an opportunity to reach out and make a one-on-one connection with a past customer, or even a customer that maybe had to cancel or reschedule an event, saying, hey, we're still here, we're working with you, and it's more of a olive branch offering. Yes. And extending your desire to help and support in this time.
Right. And I think that's so wonderful, because one of the things I know now is how so many people's lives has changed, because as I was on my webinar this morning doing another one, my husband is in the living room teaching for 6th grade middle school, and my daughter is in her room doing a phlebotomy class lecture. I'm like, it's crazy, and so all these people are learning from home now. And so even if the direct client you're working with doesn't have young children, they probably either have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or a friend or coworker who this would be perfect for. So I love that you've made it available for us to use it. And so one of the things that I actually did is I just went onto Facebook for Party People events, and I said, hey, there's this really cool book out there. Here's the link to the website. There's some really cool activities you can download. So I just put that up as a Facebook post for Party People events, like, hey, go here, click and check this out, because I haven't gotten to the email stage yet. So I love that this is a resource that's available for us, because it's balloon related. It also has so many different learning elements to it. You've really thought that out well to make it a nice tool for people to be able to use. So thank you so much for making this for the industry to be able to put out there.
Absolutely.
Yay. So guys, if you haven't been to his website before, the balloonworkshop.com is right there. And you can see the activity guide. Oops, I'm acting like you're seeing my screen and you're not, because I stopped the share. So let me go ahead and share again. All right, are we seeing your website?
Yes, there you go.
Okay, so when you go to the balloonworkshop.com, you go to the home page, and just how adorable are these? I absolutely am amazed by his artistic endeavors, like from the cloud being ballooned to everything with the zebra, the grass, it's all balloons. So just people being on this website alone is uplifting and fun. And so the activity guide is right there for you to do the downloadable, or you can actually send them the link to that. So anything else you'd want to tell us about that's on the website we might want to look at while we're there?
Just a few other things. One, you actually on your screen, you have it down at the very bottom. There's 20% off everything that's sold on the site that's being offered, and then also free shipping on everything. So if it's not downloadable, like the coloring book or the activity guide, you're going to get free shipping. And then also, just for you guys, if you do purchase a book, I will go ahead, if you just include in the order notes, like, hey, could you sign it for me? I will personally sign it before I send it off. And so that way you can get your book and you have a signed copy. If you're making it out to somebody or you're giving it to somebody as a gift, just let me know who, the name of the individual it's being given to, and I can write a little message in there as well. Yeah.
Great. People are saying thank you, and that this is perfect for their grandson and for their grandkids. So
Awesome.
I greatly appreciate that information. So yeah, so check it out. You can order the items now for 20% off, and then have a really cool gift after all this is done, or to send to somebody now that needs to be uplifted.
Absolutely. I've had more parents come back to me and say, my kid loves your book, but I look at it more often than they do sometimes, because it's art. Well, that's what they've mentioned. They're like, each page is art in and of itself. And so as much as it was designed for kids and early literacy, parents and adults have been enjoying it just as much. And so I love that. That shows that it crosses the bridges of age.
Most definitely. And I know for me, when I looked at it, I'm amazed every time I see something new and a detail that I didn't even realize before. So I love this project. And like I said, people need uplifters right now, and this is definitely one of those. So what I want to do is just to go over a couple of things that balloon professionals can do right now that you may not have heard at the beginning, to connect you with your audience during this time. You can use his free downloads, but you can also create your own free downloads. You might have some kind of activity guide. I look at all of these amazing, talented entertainers that I know that have their own coloring sheets, or have made other types of activity guides or games that they've used at parties in the past. So sometimes you have to think outside of the box and pivot just a little bit and go, oh, there's this item that I have that I've been using for library shows, or this is this item that I've had for summer camps, and change it into something that could be a download for your clients now. Offer new online services. Maybe you've always been a person who just did balloon decorating, you went and dropped it off, and you've never done any type of entertainment, but you're not too bad at twisting. You may want to go ahead and do some kind of show online where you're twisting. Or you might even want to just build decor online where you've got your followers watching you live, making some kind of sculpture. Right now, we're getting ready for 1 million Bubbles of Hope this weekend over Easter weekend. You may want to go ahead and go on live and have people watch you behind the scenes making those items. So don't be afraid to try new things during this time. Use your Facebook, your Instagram, your email to connect with people. Not that you're trying to sell them, but you're like, hey, I understand, here's the 5 tips I have to surviving, being in my house for 3 weeks straight with my husband and daughter. Here's the things that I've been doing. Don't be afraid to send out an email to say hello to people or to connect with them. And don't, and I'm just going to make sure I go to the right place. When you are online, right now, a lot of people have gone in and set up their posts. Like if you're a person that uses a scheduler and you've got it posted out for the next 3 months of what your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed is, you're going to want to go in and change that. Because if you were promoting proms and graduation parties that are not happening right now, you're going to want to edit those things, all right? So I encourage you to go in there. But I wanted to just show you guys my feed from Party People Events. As you can see, I went in there and said, how is distance learning going for you? If your friends are in need of a new art project or have a creative outlet, here you go. And now that I understand a little bit more about the activity guys he has, I'll be able to change up the verbiage and do some things that are a little bit different in the future with that. Then I put the always look on the bright side of life up. The other thing I did is I had made some things that were boredom busters. And what I did is I just put this up. This was me and my husband working in our yard for 2 days, raking up the leaves. What did I do not working at the shop on Saturday? I was outside working on my front yard. So I just went in and put on there, boredom busters, yard work, enjoy the fresh air. It's just connecting with people, like saying, I understand you're stuck at home and you're not doing what you're normally doing. Here's something else you can do. This was one of my Balloon Boss Mastermind members made this chin up one and said we could all borrow it and use it. So putting that creative content out that connects with people, that makes them feel good. Even if you have pictures of people interacting with balloons in the past and then you can change the wording in it. I just put a poem up on it and then let people know that during the stay-at-home orders we weren't currently opened. Putting that information out there in a creative way that's still uplifting and not a downer. So sharing videos of what other balloon professionals are doing. So when we did the 1 million Bubbles of Joy a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people got TV coverage from that. So I've been sharing that video feed out there for other people to watch. And now people are being able to experience balloons in a different way and see how much joy that they do bring. And then this was the boredom busters I put up. And it was just some simple tips about writing a daily journal, do holiday and birthday cards, handmade gifts, create an online photo album, do a scavenger hunt, build a blanket or sheet for it, So it's just giving those little tips and hints. It has nothing to do with me selling balloons, but it's letting my customers and followers know that I understand where they're at right now and I want to help give them a little bit of stress relief throughout the process. So I encourage you guys to be creative during this time and to think outside of the box a little bit. And if you would like support and help and share other ideas that you go up with on Facebook, and Balloon Coach Community is a great place to go, hey, here's a little graphic I came up with that I'm putting out on Facebook. You guys can copy the kind of idea. Or, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? I'm looking at changing things up with my business. And ask those questions in that Facebook group so that we can all stay connected during this time. The other thing, if you guys are just trying to do some extra reading, I want to let you guys know you can go to ballooncoach.com, and I have a blog where I've been putting all kinds of information out for the last 5.5 years. Check that out. It is there for you. So we do have people on with us live today. Is there any questions that you guys have before Steven and I say goodbye? And Steven, I definitely would love for you to tell us about what is in the background behind you.
Oh yes. So this is the next book that I'm working on. There is a very large hill that's a central focal point, and the hill is actually made up of a little over 15,000 160s and 260s. And so because it's such a main focal point, I use the 160s and 260s to be able to develop a pattern between the different colors and the spirals. And it's built on like a foam sheet, and then there's same number of nails, like nails that you put into the wall, are placed on top of it, one at a time, and then each of the 160s, the tips were cut off and then placed on to create the patterns on for the actual hill itself. So you guys are kind of getting a sneak peek, because you are in my workshop itself. This is kind of the boring side. That's the side with all my balloons and everything all organized and everything else. But you're getting a sneak peek from what I'm currently working on right now. So.
Oh, that is awesome. So how long did that take you to make?
This has taken me 3 months to make. And so each, when you look at like in the book, one page, there's only one animal that took me 2 weeks. All of the rest of the animals took me anywhere from 4 weeks and sometimes up to like about 6 weeks to be able to develop. And so, each of this book is going to be a little different than the ABC book, where the ABC book, each page was a different animal. So it really took a long time, because I had to research the background of the animal and see where, an ibex lives, and understand so many different aspects about these animals that you just get a little glimpse of in the book. Like a normal picture book, you follow a character through the book, and it's the same character you're seeing on each page. And so that's what you're going to be seeing on this one as they continue to develop and work it out. So everything's sketched, and I've been working on the development of on the balloon side. So I'm getting there.
Wow, that is so exciting. Well, I appreciate you letting us have that sneak peek into what you've got going on your new project. I cannot wait till you do that. And if you guys have any other questions and tips that you want to do business related, go to Facebook to Balloon Coach Community, or you can always email me, joette@ballooncoach.com. Balloon Coach is here to help support you and grow your business and help you thrive even during these crazy wild times. And I encourage you guys to remember to stay safe and be kind during this time, and just to keep moving forward. Steven, are there any last closing words you have for us today?
I think the most important thing I'd like to say for everyone to remember is that we are in the balloon industry. Our job is naturally to be uplifters and to bring a smile to people's face. And even though we are human ourselves and we might get down and face those obstacles, I think that by first taking care of yourself and making sure that you're healthy and that you're staying in a positive mind is the most important. But don't be discouraged, and remember, people want to hear from you. People want to see you posting. People want to see what's going on. And by posting pictures and doing all of the wonderful things that Joette has mentioned, using the activity guide to send out to people, it brings a smile to people's faces, because we all know balloons bring smiles. So remember that.
So well said. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but you all can stay around. So thank you so much for being on today, Steven. I appreciate your time, and I can't wait to see what people do to help keep people inspired and uplifted during this time.
Thank you, Joette. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.